My beloved, do not scroll away from this moment too quickly, because something sacred is unfolding in the quiet space between your breath and your thoughts. There are moments in a lifetime when heaven leans closer to earth than usual, when the noise of the world softens just enough for a soul to hear what it was never meant to miss. This is one of those moments. My child, the timing surrounding you right now is not random, and the pull you felt that brought here carries a purpose that has been sealed long before this hour arrived. You may not fully understand why your spirit paused, why your attention lingered here when you could have been anywhere else, but I see the unseen path that led you here, and I tell you with calm authority that nothing about this encounter is accidental. My child, there are only a few moments in life when the veil between what you know and what heaven knows becomes thin enough for truth to pass through clearly. Right now, that veil has shifted. Something has been spoken about you in a place far beyond what human eyes can see. And the echo of that moment has begun to move across time until it reached the quiet corner of your life, where you now sit listening. You may feel an unusual stillness forming in your heart, or perhaps a subtle tension that makes you wonder what this moment is truly about. Do not dismiss that feeling. That stirring is the language of alignment, the gentle signal that a message meant specifically for you has arrived exactly when your spirit needed it most. There is a reason the title of this moment carries urgency, my beloved. Heaven does not rush without purpose, and the sense that time matters right now is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken your attention. There are seasons when a soul drifts through life half awake, carrying worries, responsibilities, and silent questions that never seem to settle. Yet there are also rare seconds when clarity begins to form like light at the edge of dawn, and those seconds can change the direction of a life more than years of wandering ever could. You are standing inside one of those seconds now, whether you realized it before or not. My beloved, I see the weight you have been carrying, the quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. I have watched the moments when you tried to remain strong even when uncertainty whispered that you might not have enough tomorrow. I saw the times when you counted numbers in your mind, hoping something would shift, hoping some door would open that would allow you to breathe again without that heavy pressure resting on your shoulders. You did not speak all of these fears out loud, yet heaven heard every silent prayer hidden inside those restless nights. You have been praying for relief, and heaven has heard you. That is why you were guided to this message today. There are paths in life that appear ordinary from the outside, but are quietly directed from above in ways a person cannot fully understand until much later. What you thought was simply another moment of curiosity, or another video appearing in front of you, is actually the intersection of your prayer and heaven's response. The answer did not arrive in the way you expected, but it has arrived with perfect timing nonetheless. You are not meant to walk this financial journey in confusion and fear. That has never been the design written over your life. You are meant to walk it with faith, clarity, and daily direction, step by step, with wisdom that steadies your mind rather than overwhelms it. For too long the pressure of uncertainty has tried to convince you that you must carry everything alone, that the path ahead must remain hidden and unpredictable. Yet the truth that is quietly unfolding now is that guidance has already been prepared for you, waiting for the moment when your heart would be ready to receive it. To support you, A gentle 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system has been prepared for you. This is not something complicated or overwhelming, my child, because heaven knows the exhaustion you have felt and understands that what you need most is peace mixed with direction. Inside this journey, you will be guided step by step through daily prayers, simple money actions, and a calm structure that helps bring order to your finances and to your thoughts. Each day unfolds with quiet intention, allowing you to move forward without fear, without confusion, and without the pressure that once made your nights so restless. Nothing overwhelming waits for you there. Nothing complicated will burden your mind. Instead, you will discover small, faithful steps that begin to shift the direction of your path in ways that feel steady and manageable. Sometimes the greatest transformations begin with the smallest decisions, repeated with faith each day, and this path has been designed to help you rediscover that rhythm. When clarity begins to replace worry and structure begins to replace uncertainty, the pressure that once filled your mind starts to loosen its grip, allowing peace to enter where tension once lived. If your heart is feeling called, if you sense even the smallest pull to move forward with both faith and wisdom, you may begin when you are ready. There is no pressure placed upon you in this moment. Only an open invitation to step into something that has been prepared with care for the journey you have been walking. The link is waiting for you in the description, ready for the moment when your spirit feels prepared to take that first step. When that moment arrives, do not rush or hesitate with fear. Simply move forward knowing that you are not being led into confusion but into clarity. Yet, my beloved, the message unfolding around you goes deeper than finances alone. The reason this moment carries such urgency is because something happened in heaven that caused attention to turn toward your life in a way that rarely occurs. There are countless names spoken across the earth each day, yet there are rare moments when a name is spoken in heaven with intention, with recognition, and with purpose that echoes far beyond the ordinary rhythm of time. Your name was among those spoken, and that moment has created a ripple that is now reaching you. You may wonder how such a thing could be possible, how a life that sometimes feels ordinary could be connected to something so sacred. Yet heaven has never measured significance the way the world measures it. The world looks at status, numbers, and visible achievements, but heaven looks at hearts, prayers, perseverance, and the quiet strength that continues to rise even when no one else notices. You have walked through seasons where your faith was tested quietly, where doubt tried to whisper that your prayers had been forgotten. Yet none of those moments were invisible to the one who sees beyond what human eyes can observe. There were nights when you felt alone with your thoughts, moments when the future seemed uncertain and the path ahead looked blurred by questions that refused to settle. During those nights, when you spoke even the smallest prayer or simply sighed with the weight of your worries, heaven listened more closely than you realized. Sometimes the answer to a prayer begins forming long before the person praying can see it. Seeds are planted in unseen places, and timing is carefully aligned so that when the answer finally appears, it arrives exactly when the soul is ready to receive it. The urgency surrounding this moment is not meant to rush you with fear, but to awaken your awareness. When heaven speaks, there are moments when attention must be given quickly, because the message carries alignment that will not always remain open forever. Doors open and close in the rhythm of divine timing, and recognizing those moments can change the direction of a life, more than people realize. That is why your spirit felt that subtle pull not to move away from this message too quickly. Something is being revealed to you gradually, my child. Not all truth arrives in one instant, because the heart must be prepared to receive what the mind cannot immediately understand. As you continue listening, you may notice that certain thoughts begin to rise inside you, memories, realizations, or feelings that you have not explored for a long time. That is not coincidence. It is the quiet movement of clarity beginning to settle over areas of your life that once felt clouded. You have wondered before whether your path truly holds meaning, whether the struggles you have faced carried any purpose at all. Yet heaven never wastes a season, even the ones that felt heavy or confusing. Delays were not punishments, and obstacles were not signs that you had been abandoned. Often they were simply moments of preparation, shaping your understanding, strengthening your patience, and guiding you toward the exact alignment that is now unfolding before you. Stay with this moment a little longer, my beloved, because something gentle yet powerful is continuing to unfold. The more calmly you listen, the clearer the message becomes. This is not about rushing through words, but about allowing your spirit to recognize what has been forming around your life all along. Sometimes the most important revelations arrive quietly, disguised within moments that at first seem ordinary, yet later reveal themselves to be turning points that changed everything. You may return to this message more than once, and each time something new may reveal itself to you. Truth has a way of unfolding layer by layer, especially when a heart is ready to receive guidance with humility and patience. Do not rush away from what your spirit is beginning to understand. Remain present, remain attentive, and allow the calm authority of this moment to settle into your thoughts. Because, my beloved, the story that heaven sees about your life is still being written, and the chapter you are entering now carries a different tone than the ones before it. Where confusion once tried to dominate your thoughts, clarity will begin to appear. Where pressure once weighed heavily on your heart, structure and direction will begin to replace it. And where fear once whispered that your future might remain uncertain, a quiet confidence will begin to rise instead. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new alignment that will continue revealing itself in the days ahead. Remain open, remain attentive, and remember that the same voice that guided you to this moment will continue guiding you forward, one step at a time, exactly when you need it. My child, remain still for a moment longer, because the atmosphere around your life is shifting in ways you cannot yet fully see. There are movements happening beyond the visible world, and the echo of those movements has begun to reach the quiet places of your heart. When a name is spoken in heaven with intention, it does not remain only in that sacred space. It travels, gently yet powerfully, until it finds the life it belongs to. That is why you felt that small but persistent pull to remain here. Something about this moment carries alignment that your spirit recognized before your mind understood. You have lived through days where time felt slow and heavy, where answers seemed delayed and doors appeared to remain closed, no matter how patiently you waited. During those seasons, it was easy to believe that perhaps nothing was moving behind the scenes. Yet heaven's timing rarely unfolds in ways that human eyes can measure. What seems like silence is often preparation, and what appears like delay is often protection. The pieces of your life have been quietly arranging themselves into a pattern that only now begins to reveal its meaning. My beloved, there are moments when a person's life moves through ordinary rhythms. And then there are rare intersections, when destiny gently interrupts the routine. This is one of those intersections. Something about your path has reached a point where clarity must begin to replace confusion. The heaviness you have carried was never meant to remain with you forever. It was part of a season that shaped your awareness, strengthened your endurance, and prepared your heart to recognize guidance when it finally appeared. The urgency surrounding this message is not noise or exaggeration. It is simply the echo of a moment that has already happened beyond what your eyes can see. When heaven acknowledges a life, it is because something within that life has reached a turning point. A prayer that lingered in the air too long, a question whispered in quiet moments, or a hope that refused to disappear even when circumstances seemed uncertain. All of these things have weight in heaven, and none of them are forgotten. You may feel a subtle sense of anticipation growing inside you as you continue listening. That feeling is not accidental. It is the quiet signal that something within your spirit is beginning to awaken. Many people move through their days without ever noticing when heaven gently tries to reach them. But your attention paused here for a reason. Your soul recognized a moment of alignment. Even if you could not explain it with words, there were times when you questioned whether your efforts truly mattered. You worked, you tried, you hoped things would improve. Yet the results sometimes felt distant. During those moments, it would have been easy to stop believing that a new path could open for you. Yet the strength you showed during those quiet struggles has not gone unnoticed. Heaven sees perseverance in ways the world often overlooks. You are entering a period where hidden things begin to surface with clarity. Not secrets meant to harm you, but truths meant to guide you. Situations that once seemed confusing will begin to make sense in ways that bring peace rather than frustration. You will start noticing connections between moments in your past and opportunities that appear in your future. What once looked like scattered events will begin to feel like a carefully arranged pattern. Stay with this message a little longer, my beloved, because what is unfolding is not meant to rush past you. Some revelations arrive slowly, so that the heart has time to recognize their importance. If you listen calmly, you may begin to feel a sense of reassurance settling into your thoughts. It is the quiet understanding that your life is not drifting aimlessly, but moving through a sequence of moments that carry purpose. The worries that have weighed on your mind, especially those connected to provision and stability, have been heard more clearly than you realize. Many nights you tried to silence those concerns so that you could rest. Yet they continued returning, reminding you of responsibilities and uncertainties that seemed too heavy to ignore. But hear this clearly now, my child. Worry has never been the path that was meant to guide you forward. Faith combined with wisdom was always meant to lead you instead. The reason guidance has begun appearing around you now is because your season is shifting. When one chapter ends and another begins, heaven often sends signals to prepare the heart for change. Sometimes those signals arrive through moments of reflection, sometimes through unexpected encounters, and sometimes through messages that feel strangely personal, even when they appear in ordinary places. You may return to these words again in the future and discover that they carry deeper meaning than you first noticed. That is because truth often reveals itself gradually. Each time you listen with an open heart, another layer of understanding may unfold. Do not feel pressure to grasp everything at once. Simply allow the message to settle within you. The way calm water slowly reflects the sky when the wind becomes still. My beloved, the chapter ahead of you carries a different rhythm from the one you have been living. Where uncertainty once created tension, direction will begin to appear in quiet ways. You may notice ideas forming more clearly in your mind, decisions becoming easier to make, and opportunities appearing where there once seemed to be none. These shifts will not always arrive with dramatic announcements. Often they begin with small moments of clarity that slowly build into larger transformations. There is a reason your spirit was guided here rather than somewhere else. Heaven knows how easily people can overlook the moments meant specifically for them. That is why the sense of urgency was placed around this message, not to alarm you but to awaken your attention. When a person recognizes a moment that carries divine alignment, the choices they make afterward can lead them into entirely new seasons of life. Continue listening with patience, my child. The story unfolding around you is still moving forward, and the same guidance that reached you in this moment will continue to reach you again. Sometimes it will come through quiet thoughts, sometimes through new opportunities, and sometimes through the calm certainty that begins to replace fear. Each step will become clearer than the one before it. Your path is not closing, it is opening. Your future is not fading, it is forming. And the same presence that allowed your name to be spoken with purpose will continue watching over the steps you take from this moment onward. Remain attentive, remain calm, and allow the quiet assurance of heaven to walk beside you as the next part of your journey begins to unfold. My beloved, remain attentive for a little longer, because the stillness surrounding this moment is not empty. It carries meaning that your heart is only beginning to recognize. There are times when heaven allows a person to move quietly through life without interruption, and then there are rare moments when the atmosphere shifts and something greater gently reaches toward them. You are standing inside such a moment now, and that quiet pull you felt to remain here is not something that should be ignored too quickly. Your spirit sensed something before your thoughts could explain it, and that is often how divine alignment first appears. My child, the world around you often moves quickly, filled with noise, expectations, and distractions that make it difficult for a person to hear what truly matters. Yet every so often, a small window opens where clarity begins to enter light through a narrow doorway. The soul recognizes that light immediately, even if the mind takes longer to understand it. That is what is happening around you right now. The reason you are still here listening is because something within you recognizes that this moment carries a message meant for your life. You may have wondered many times whether the struggles you faced had any deeper meaning. There were seasons when it seemed as if your efforts were invisible, when your prayers felt quiet and the answers you hoped for did not arrive as quickly as you expected. Yet heaven never measures time the way humans measure it. What looks like delay to you is often preparation in a place you cannot see. Pieces were moving, connections were forming, and timing was quietly aligning in ways that only now begin to reveal themselves. The reason the atmosphere around this message feels urgent is because certain moments cannot be postponed forever. There are times when a soul must pause and listen carefully because the direction of their path is about to shift. That shift does not always arrive with loud announcements or dramatic signs. Often it comes as a calm realization that begins forming deep within the heart. A person suddenly understands that they are not drifting through life randomly, but moving through a series of moments that carry purpose. My beloved, heaven has watched the perseverance that carried you through days when your strength felt small. It has seen the quiet determination you showed when you continued moving forward, even when the path ahead seemed uncertain. Many people would have stopped believing during those seasons, yet you continued hoping that something better could eventually appear. That quiet hope mattered more than you realize. There were nights when your mind refused to rest, moments when thoughts about your future and your responsibilities filled the silence around you. During those hours you may have felt as though you were alone with your worries, yet those moments were never unseen. Every sigh, every whispered prayer, every question that rose from your heart carried weight in heaven. Even when the answers were not immediately visible, they were already beginning to form. You are now entering a period where the fog that once surrounded certain parts of your life will begin to lift. Clarity often arrives slowly at first, like the first light of dawn spreading across the horizon. At the beginning it may appear subtle, almost easy to overlook, but as time continues moving forward the brightness grows stronger, until everything becomes easier to see. That is the type of change beginning to unfold around you. Stay with this message calmly, my child, because each moment you remain present allows the meaning to settle deeper within you. Some people move past moments like this without noticing them, but your attention remained here for a reason. Something about your life has reached a point where new direction must begin forming. The questions you carried will start to find answers in ways that feel natural rather than forced. My beloved, the journey ahead of you will not resemble the uncertainty you have known before. Instead of confusion dominating your thoughts, guidance will begin appearing in quiet, but steady ways. You may notice opportunities that once seemed hidden suddenly becoming visible. You may also feel a new sense of peace when making decisions that previously felt overwhelming. These are signs that the season surrounding your life is shifting. There are moments when heaven gently prepares a person before a new chapter begins. During those preparations, the heart often feels a mixture of anticipation and calm curiosity, as if something meaningful is approaching, but has not yet fully arrived. If you sense that feeling within yourself now, do not ignore it. It is the quiet signal that change is forming just beyond the horizon of your present circumstances. You may return to these words again later and realize that they carried more truth than you first noticed. Revelation rarely unfolds all at once. Instead, it reveals itself gradually as a person continues walking forward. Each day brings a little more understanding, each step reveals a little more clarity, and each moment of patience allows wisdom to grow stronger within the heart. My child, the reason you were guided here was not simply to hear comforting words. It was to remind you that your life carries purpose beyond what you have been able to see so far. The struggles you faced were not the end of your story. They were chapters that prepared you for the direction that is beginning to open before you now. As you move forward from this moment, remain aware of the small signs of guidance that appear around you. Sometimes they will come through ideas that suddenly make sense, sometimes through conversations that arrive at exactly the right time, and sometimes through opportunities that seem unexpected yet strangely perfect. When those moments appear, remember that they are not random. They are part of the alignment that has been quietly forming around your life. Continue listening with a calm heart, my beloved. The message unfolding here is not rushing away from you. It will remain with you as long as you allow it to settle within your thoughts. And as the days ahead begin to reveal new clarity, you will slowly understand why this moment appeared exactly when it did. Your journey is not standing still. It is unfolding, step by step, guided by a purpose that has been watching over you far longer than you ever realized.